So this isn't my first go around with Hegseth. I'm just looking through some of the stuff that I've tweeted. I forgot about this one. Let's rewatch this. So on the Israel stuff. I mean, Hegseth is like on another planet. So one area where Hegseth does differ from the traditional neocons, if you want to be a bit precise, is that the neocons of like the 90s and 2000s, like a Wolfowitz or whomever, they tended to be more secular. A lot of them were Jewish, some not, but like they were secular minded. You wouldn't have, like, there were no fire breathing like preachers talking about apocalyptic religious prophecies amongst the core group of like actual neocons. So like I think like a Paul Wolfowitz or a Richard Pearl or someone, or even a Bill Kristol, would have been probably a bit embarrassed. Maybe not Bill Kristol, he's totally shameless, but like some of them would have been like maybe a bit apprehensive about associating themselves with people like who supported Israel, but on apocalyptic religious grounds. So Trump is different from the neocons in this sense, in that like he's always been much more pandering to and much more elevating of like genuine hardcore religious fanatics, Jewish and Christian, as it relates to Israel. Like he sent Pastor John Hagee to deliver the opening benediction at the inauguration of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem when Trump moved it there. And so we gotta go to this Hegseth clip. Here's Hegseth during the time 2018 where he was claiming that he was having this radical epiphany and was no longer a neocon. So let's go to the videotape. This is not Fox News. This is when he went to Israel himself to speak at the King David Hotel, where I've been. I've seen the exterior of it. I've seen the plaque where they commemorate the like quote unquote terrorist attack that the Zionist militias committed against the British authorities before the Declaration of Independence by Israel in 1948. But anyway.
And today, Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the Western Wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle, 1948 was a miracle, 1967 was a miracle, 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle. And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
Okay, so for anybody who isn't aware, I mean, the polite applause there, the golf claps are hilarious because what he's saying, let's just actually play a little bit more.
I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen, but I know that it could happen. That's all I know. And a step in that process, a step in every process, is the recognition that facts and activities on the ground truly matter. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, Israeli cities, locations, is a critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel. And I believe, as was mentioned, he said you need to, what was mentioned is you need to buy the ticket. Don't just wish for 40 years to win the lottery, buy the ticket. I would submit to you, in light of the support you have in Washington, D.C., the support you have amongst patriotic Americans, amongst evangelical Christians, amongst believers, amongst Republicans, even amongst some Democrats who can barely say it anymore in Washington, buy the ticket, take your action, do what needs to be done here in Israel, because I truly believe this is a moment where America will have your back. You have Donald Trump in the White House. You have Mike Pence as vice president. You have Nikki Haley at the UN. You have true believers in Israel and America that have your back.
Okay. I mean, the polite golf clapping cracks me up. So if people aren't aware of this religious prophecy that people like John Hagee, the crazed pastor, founder of Christians United for Israel, visited Trump at the White House, delivered the opening benediction, which I should pull up maybe, at the opening of the embassy in Jerusalem. What they believe in, and what Hegseth also believes in, is this apocalyptic prophecy whereby the third temple will be rebuilt in Jerusalem. And you know the site on which the third temple is thought will be rebuilt? Or I screwed up the phrasing of that. Do you know where they're claiming that the third temple would be rebuilt? On the site of where currently the Al-Aqsa Mosque is. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is like one of the holiest sites in Islam. I think it's like considered the third holiest or whatever. Like the only way to build the third temple is to blow up or destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque and basically launch a massive religious war. So that's what Pete Hegseth is pining for and receiving applause for. I actually tried to go to the Al-Aqsa Mosque when I was in Israel last year. And, so you have to go to the old city of Jerusalem, obviously. And I tried to go to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and I was turned away because the guards assumed that I was Jewish, and Jews aren't allowed to go to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And I offered to convert to Islam on the spot, and the Israeli guards were not too impressed with my offer, so I was blocked from going to the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I can only go to the Jewish holy sites, which is funny. But there you go. I mean, so that's like, maybe that's one actually piece of supporting evidence for Hegseth's contention that he was a recovering neocon, because that's a lot more extreme than even the traditional neocons probably would have been willing to espouse, like a religious apocalyptic prophecy to launch a great civilizational battle, which, according to the Christian evangelicals, ends with Christ returning from the sky to rule over earth from Jerusalem. So there you have it. That's Hegseth.